Hello Virgo, this is a timeless reading for you. I'm using my own tarot cards, my medieval oracle cards. In the middle of the deck we have the Sun, then we have the Book, the Maiden, the Magician and the Healer. So at this moment when you find this reading, like there is something very positive in your life, also something very transcending and enlightening. We have the Book card in the unconscious position, and I feel like, this could just be some kind of inner questions, something that was deeply affecting you, like some kind of ignorance. And I don't mean ignorance in a negative way, I mean sometimes we feel burdened by not knowing something, like some kind of uncertainty. And for some of you, this could even just be a kind of spiritual uncertainty about something, that you maybe were in a dilemma in a certain situation, but something positive came into your life, which is represented by the Sun. It is something that is on the external world, in the physical realm, that gave you that put you in a very good mood. But this is not just some superficial good mood, because I feel like internally also there's a very bright happiness inside of you, probably because you solved some inner dilemma that you had with a certain situation or with a certain question that you had on your mind. And in the conscious position with the Maiden, I felt different things about this. Like, for some of you, I feel like if you're a parent, you might have been worried about your child. If you're a grandparent, also either about your child or your grandchildren, or one of your grandchildren, that there was something we were uncertain about. Maybe this person, especially when they're teenagers and they're a little bit secretive, maybe you were worried about something like that, but you will find this trust in this situation and in this person. The Maiden card can come up in a negative way as someone who is being suppressed, someone who is being exploited, the typical someone who's, it can also stand for poverty in my deck. You know what maiden can mean, but I feel like here it doesn't come up in that sense. It comes more up in another way that I created this card, representing some kind of education, learning a profession, going to school for youth, for teenagers. That's what also could be represented by this card. And I feel like this is what this reading about. Like there is someone here worried about a younger person, someone who still has to learn a lot. And there is some kind of relief regarding this situation. For others of you, if you're not a parent or grandparent, this could just be representing yourself, that you are this young person going to school or studying something, learning something, picking up a profession, just beginning something new. Even if you're not a teenager anymore and you're, I don't know, in your 30s and 40s and you don't have children, it could be just, it could still represent your own energy, that you might feel in a certain situation that you have to start new somewhere. Maybe you quit an old profession that you have done for a long time and you're starting something new. And you might feel a little bit, like a teenager again, even though you're an adult. But sometimes when we start in an entirely new terrain, we can feel a little bit like a maiden. We can make mistakes in the beginning because we haven't developed the routine yet. And, then we feel a little bit silly sometimes and uncomfortable. But I think there is a lot of ease regarding this topic coming in. With the Magician, this is what actually, the Magician stands for something in my deck that I created this card in a way that I'm not seeing it here in your reading. I don't know why. I'm just seeing the Magician as the older person that is worried about this maiden. This could be a father, a mother, as I said, grandparents. There is someone, like this Magician gives me this slightly worried vibe. This kind of not feeling so easy with someone's decisions, or secretiveness. Is that the English words? Yeah, secretiveness. Yeah. Someone, not that they distrust, sorry, oh my God, this maiden person. It's just like this Magician at this moment cannot see through the maiden, and they don't know what is going on in this maiden's head. And that's what they're worried about, but this trust will come back. Like, this Magician will understand that this maiden is maybe just in a very new phase of her life, or his life. Of course, the maiden can represent a man as well. But the Magician will understand that the maiden will make the right decision, even if the maiden is inexperienced in some way or something. And we have the Healer at the bottom, at the top of the deck. And this is, on one hand, like a metaphor, like a healing energy, a healing situation that will ease this situation. But the Healer can also represent a literal person in this spread. I'm feeling both things, actually. And this Healer could either be some kind of teacher of the maiden or a boss. The Healer gives me a very, very good vibe. It could also just be like, let's say the Magician is a parent and they send their child abroad to study something in a foreign country, or to, learn something there, or they're going on a trip with their school into a country far away. Or it could even be that the maiden is prematurely leaving school because they received a very unusual career offer that they might actually be too young for, but it's not something terrible or criminal or something, it's not something dubious. But the parent might have been worried about that, but there will be someone around this maiden, this Healer person, some kind of social worker, teacher, or I don't know the English word for that, just someone who can, like a legal guardian, maybe, I think that's the word. Just someone who will watch over this maiden so that the parent doesn't have to be worried. That's the thing that I'm getting. For some of you, I'm suddenly also getting that you could be the Healer, and you are the one who is watching, taking care of this maiden person. This spread feels very open energy-wise. It's very, sometimes I feel very strongly during my readings that a certain card really represents the people or the person that this reading is made for. But in your spread here, it's very open. You could be any of them. At the bottom of the deck, we have Fortuna. This, on one hand, is some kind of worry that you might have had, that, getting back to the example, that maybe this young person received some offer. I mean, it could even be that this is a very young pupil. Sometimes there are these hyper intelligent children who skip several grades during school. Something like that, and then they can go to university much earlier than other people. I know it's quite rare, but this is something that's coming to my mind, or something similar to this. And it might feel like this is a very good offer, And it's very lucky that this young person received this kind of offer. But the magician is also worried about, the Fortuna being blind, which means it could be some, like the magician is worried it is irresponsible to let that young person accept this offer. Even though I feel it is nothing immoral or illegal or something. Or maybe it could be that due to this offer, this person could be spoiled in some way in a very young age. And because, you see all the coins here. And this is something that the magician is worried about. That maybe this is too early. That maybe it is irresponsible. Maybe it is too much for a young person. It is... in a superficial way, it looks like really good luck, but is it ultimately on the long way? For a long term, is that a life goal? So this might be some worries of the magician. Yet this card also speaks of, because the Fortuna lady gives me a good vibe, even though, she's blindly just throwing her coins out. It can also just mean that she decides that with her heart instead with her intellect. So that's a quite positive thing, that this is a very mature and intuitive person. We can read Lady Fortuna or Lady Fortune in two different ways. And in this spread, both these energies are coming up. The negative aspect of her and the positive aspect of her. Like, she's not... she doesn't have bad intentions, that's what I'm feeling. But the magician might worry that she's maybe a little bit ignorant with her blindfold there. But on a deeper level, it could just mean that she is actually not ignorant, but she's very intuitive and she knows... maybe she sees something in that young person that she knows this young person is mature enough to handle this kind of good luck or success. So that was something that I was getting as well from this card. I think I'm just gonna leave it here because I don't want to force too many information out of this. So I'm just keeping it to the essence of the reading, and thank you for watching.